Why do they call this product the Income Advantage? Welcome back to the channel. This is Brady Watkins with Leverage Wealth and Cash Value Life Insurance Reviews. We get a ton of people sending in IULs to be reviewed, and we're getting a lot of this specific product, which is the Mutual of Omaha Income Advantage. And I think it's an interesting name, the Income Advantage, and I want to kind of explore it a little. I want to see exactly why it is an advantage. Why do they call this product the Income Advantage? So what we're going to do is look through it and see where exactly is the advantage for income for the IUL. And so there's a few different ways we need to look at this. We need to look at the loan provisions. We need to look at the indexing options. We need to look at, are there any bonuses? And if there are anything that kind of stands out to hurt or help your income inside the IUL and give you an advantage or not. So we're answering the question today, does this actually give you an advantage? So the first place we're going to look to see if what the advantage is on the product is the rider section. They have two accelerated death benefit riders, and then they also have kind of a lapse guard. All three riders are good, but are they giving you an advantage for income? I would say no, it's something else. They're trying to give you something else there. So that's the first thing. The riders that are released on this policy, they're not really giving you an advantage for income inside of the IUL. So let's get to the loan options. They have two options that you can choose from. Almost every single company has the same thing, a standard or wash loan, fixed loan, whatever you want to call it. And then an index loan or a participating loan is kind of what we see here. So the standard loan, I would say, is not a super big advantage. Every carrier has it. The index loan is going to be a specific wording on this, particular product. So let's find it. So you can see the wording on the standard loan and the index loan. Let's focus on the index loan to start. What you get credited is essentially however the policy performs. This is a participating loan. I'll pause here. If you have any questions about, just a more overarching view on what are loans and how they work, what are good loans, you should watch a video on our channel that is specifically about loans. We have like 5 or 6 to choose from. So you get credited the dollars that earn interest on your policy that continue to, participate in the index earnings. But what do you get charged? That's the actual loan provision. What you get charged is essentially a variable loan rate. It's a variable loan charge. You don't know how much it's going to charge you. Right now, it's 5%, but you can see one line up. The maximum rate is 6%. So you're getting charged 5%. Well, I guess let me back up. They're assuming it's 5% now. That's the first thing. The second thing is it can go up to 6%. So where is the advantage for income in the IUL on this policy? Again, going back to the name, where is the advantage? This is not an advantage for you. This is not an advantage for you for income. If you want the best possible predictable income stream inside of the IUL, you obviously don't want a variable rate on the policy for your loan provisions. That's just how it is, simple enough. So now let's get to the indexing options. Is there an advantage here? Do they give you an advantage for income for this IUL through their indexing options? Let's answer the question. First, we go through the different types. We have 3 different types of S&P options, and then we have one B of A U.S. Agility Index. This is essentially their Volatility-Controlled Index to give you some diversity on the policy. If you have questions on different indexes, we're actually coming out with a video soon about different types of indexes. The B of A is going to be volatility controlled, and then as you guys probably know, what the S&P is, that's kind of self-explanatory. So we had 4 options total. 3 of them are an S&P based. 1 of them is volatility controlled. So let's pause there. Is there an advantage in terms of diversity first and foremost? I would say a little bit. There's a small advantage to having some diversity, but let's back up even farther. Comparing it to other carriers, this is not an advantage. Having 75% of your options being S&P based and only 1 or 25, a quarter of your options being a volatility controlled index, that's not a huge diversity of indexes. That's not giving you an advantage. If we're looking at other carriers, other carriers have not 4, but 10 to 15 options to choose from. There are carriers out there that exist that give you that many options, and you have 4 options, and they're mainly S&P. So I would ask you, where is the advantage there? I don't think there is one. So let's go to, how those indexes actually work. We have one with a regular participation rate of 100%, and a cap of currently 10%. Okay, so most S&P annual point-to-points, they're going to have an option where it's 100% par rate, and then they're going to give you a cap. So let's look at the cap, 10%. Is that an advantage to you to choose this product over another? Well, I would tell you no. I would say a typical cap right now, it's the end of 2025. A typical cap is anywhere between, 9 to 12 to 13%, and we're sitting at 10%. So is this giving you a leg up on the competition if you chose this product with this index? The answer would be no. This is middle of the pack at best on a cap. The next option is an S&P high par rate with a lower cap. So instead of 100% par rate, we're at 140, but your cap is going to be 7%. So while this may be better than the one we looked at previously, let's do just quick math and let's figure out where's the advantage here. Where's the advantage even compared to this one? So let's say you do hit the cap, 7%. You also get the 140% participation rate. Well, what is a 140% participation rate on a 7% cap? It's actually less than this cap of 10%. It's like 9.8%. So you're actually not better off using this index. I'm not even sure when you would use this index because this one's giving you a higher cap no matter what. So let's go to the next one, the S&P 1-year uncapped option. This is giving you absolutely no cap on the S&P, but you're taking less of a par rate. So you're taking 60% of the S&P earnings with the potential of, who knows what. So this is a decent index if you want higher upside to take the risk. If the S&P gets 20%, you're better off choosing the S&P uncapped versus the one with a cap. But it's going to have to get close to that amount for it to work out for you. So that is, I suppose, a good option. Is there an advantage there? Yes. This may be one of the only advantages. I'll let you in on that. There is an advantage here if the S&P is 20+% for the year, and that can happen, of course. The B of A option is a volatility-controlled index. Is going to have a much higher par rate because these volatility-controlled indexes do not have huge fluctuations. They are trying to level out your gain. So it's obviously going to have a higher par rate. There is no cap. And that just depends on how the policy performs. That depends on how that index performs. So is there a huge advantage to this B of A index for you? I would say no. Most carriers have some type of volatility controlled index with a high par rate and no cap. So the next thing we want to look for is bonuses. Are there any bonuses on the policy to give you a leg up, to give you a bonus on your dollars? And if so, are those bonuses guaranteed contractually? Can the carrier offer it and then take it away? Or can they offer it and contractually they're obligated to pay that out every year? Well, this is a short and sweet answer. There are neither. No bonuses at all. And of course, because there's no bonuses, there's no guaranteed bonuses. So again, I ask, where is the advantage on this policy for IUL income? I'm having a hard time figuring out where. So the only thing that I could say additionally would be that Mutual of Omaha is a mutual company. And so, first and foremost, they are looking out for your best interest as a mutual company. And so I guess that's an advantage if you'd like that. We're hoping these mutual companies are giving you the best deal contractually, but that's just not usually the case. So that does it. We are looking for an income advantage in a policy that really doesn't provide you with an advantage. And so this is why you have to see multiple options. This is why you want and should, if you're looking into the IUL, if you want to generate maximum tax-free income, predictable, safe income that cannot go backwards with the market, you should absolutely contact us. If you have a policy you want to be reviewed, you should send it in. We can talk about it. We can give you an opinion and contractually looking at your contract, seeing what you would sign if you were to get that policy, stack it up with others. If you don't have a policy, you should reach out to us as well, and we can talk about what policy makes sense for you. And, this is not a process where we sell you on a policy. We want to educate you. We want to help you make a good decision with your dollars, whether that's an IUL or not. So be on the lookout for more policy design, more product reviews here, and we'll be in touch soon with some more.